Good day. Today we start with 3.4 in the syllabus. This is lesson 22. In this lesson, we will discuss the role of advertising in the business, and we will define advertising. We will look at the purposes, the aims, and the methods of advertising. If we look at what the definition is for advertising, they say it is when a product is made known to the public through different methods of advertising. We will discuss all the different methods and see how many you can come up with. It's easy to get 30 or different methods of advertising nowadays. Okay, what is our purpose if we advertise? We ask the question, why do we do it? Why do you want to advertise? What do you want to achieve? What is your purpose? Now, the first thing that you want to achieve, and that is to increase the demand for your product. If you can achieve that, then you are already halfway. So if you look at your graphs in 3.2, and there we have discussed what happened to the demand. If the demand increased, it moved to the right. So you will see if you achieve that, then you can be seen as partly successful. And then if your advertising achieve that your product become more inelastic, what that means is that they can increase the price, but people will still demand the product. So in the case for me, they can increase the price. I will still buy, for example, Sunlight Liquid, because I think that I can't go without it. I think this is the best product on the market. I think that you only use a little bit to clean your dishes. So in the case like that, they have achieved it with me, that they can change the price of that product and I still buy that product. So if you advertise and you achieve these two aims, then you can say, okay, this was a successful advertising campaign. My demand has increased and my product have become more inelastic, or the demand for my product is more inelastic, more steep. And that means I can change the price, people, or increase the price, people will still buy it. Okay, then I have the graph for you, and I have explanation for you how a successful advertising campaign will be illustrated on a graph. They say that the graph will move from D to D1, and the D1 graph will become more inelastic. And that means that they can change the price and people will still demand the product. If that happens, your revenue will increase. Okay, the next point that I want to emphasize is that all forms of advertising, it doesn't matter which method you use, they can be divided in two groups. Some methods of advertising is informative and others is persuasive. So you can divide your advertising in either one group or the other group, or sometimes they combine it. But advertising will be informative normally if they bring a new product on the market. Like I have said in the previous lesson, if Namibian breweries bring in a new flavor of Oshikandela, or Namibian breweries bring in a new product which they call Rattler or Lemon Rattler, and then that product, they want to use informative advertising in the beginning to let all their clients and their new customers know that they have a new product on the market and what this product is about. Persuasive advertising is advertising that is frequently given to you. It's in your face. You hear it on the radio over and over. You see it on the TV over and over. If you open the newspaper, it is there. They tell you actually, or they try to convince you that you can't go without this product. And that is how they persuade you to buy the product. Okay, I have group work for you. You can bring any type of TV advertisement or a news on a memory stick or a magazine advertisement or a newspaper advertisement or a radio advertisement, and then your group can divide it into informative and persuasive advertising and explain why you think this form of advertising is persuasive and why it is informative. Okay, let us play a game now, and all of you in the class sit two together and you make a list of different forms of advertising and try to get in 10 minutes 20 different forms of advertising. You will see on the board or on the PowerPoint that we have examples of a few forms of advertising. You may have lots of other examples. We can add it and then we can make a very extensive list of these forms or of different forms of advertising. Now you will ask the question, why do I need to know this? They can ask you in an exam or in a test, they can ask you, what forms of advertising will be the most efficient for MTC to use? So you must first know what type of firm MTC is. Then you must know who is the clients of MTC. If you know that, then you will be able to know how to advertise the product to them. Do they really need read newspapers? So is it worthwhile to put an advertisement in a newspaper? Do all of them have TVs or do all of them have radios? How do I get the news to them or the advertisement? How do I inform them about, say, a new package that I offer to clients? Do they all have data? Can I do it online? Can it be social media or website or on the internet, the advertisements? It depends if your clients use the computer every day and if they get access to social media. If they don't, there's no need for you to advertise on that different methods of, or make use of that different methods of advertising. So you must first understand your business and then you must understand your clients. And then you must make suggestions why you think this is the best method. So say for example, we have MTC. We know that most of their clients is the Namibian population, that most of their clients love to go to sport events or watch sport events on TV. So that's why MTC sponsors sport events, because if you go watch on TV a soccer event or a cricket event, then you will see they wear the clothes which are branded with MTC. They have MTC advertisements on the side of the field, on boards. So lots of people see then these different forms of advertisements. Okay, and then I have here group work for you. they say you must choose a Namibian business and decide which form of advertising will be the best and give your reasons. So if you then take, I have discussed now MTC, but if you, for example, take the bank as Bank Windhoek, or you take Pasta Pulana, or you take Windhoek Tafellager, then discuss what you think is the 3 best forms of advertising that they can use and give reasons why you think that. Now, what is the advantages for advertising and what is the disadvantages? The advantages is that you get, they inform you about new products on the market, and then secondly, you tell the clients why your product is better than your competitors. So like they say, it's important for firms that produce similar products like banks. You remember we have talked about monopolistic competitive markets. For them it is important to advertise, to tell why their product is better. And then it helped to pay events. So if you have a big market or you have a soccer event where all the teams in the country take part in, then if MTC sponsor it, it helps you to pay for this event, to get all the players there, to pay their transport, to pay their clothes, to pay their accommodation and their food. Now, what is the disadvantages of advertising? It can be very expensive, and that is a disadvantage because they say that big companies like Coca-Cola don't really need to advertise. They already have the biggest market share. So they only need to advertise if they bring a new product on the market. But according to us, we feel they don't need to advertise, but they do advertise. They use expensive forms of advertising. And then we can say this is a disadvantage because they can rather spend that money on, say, building schools in developing countries and supporting the schools with, say, internet or computers or training and so forth, rather than spend it on advertising which is not really needed. Then the second point, it can sometimes be misleading. You may think if you use this aftershave or if you use this product that you immediately, the girls will be attracted to you. So that is not really true, but it seemed like that on the advertisement, TV advertisements. Okay, and then if they advertise products like alcohol or cigarettes, these type of products is harmful. So advertising can sometimes also be harmful. Not only misleading and not only expensive, and then it can also cause that we overspend. We spend on products that we don't really need. And that's why this pamphlets that they hand out or they put in the newspaper, you will never know that there is a product on sale on game if you haven't seen that pamphlet. And suddenly you think, oh, but I always wanted an ice maker. So now the ice maker is $100 less. Let me go and buy it. But you don't really need it, and it costs that you spend money that you don't or would not spend if you didn't get that pamphlet. Okay, and then they say that the results can be sometimes dissatisfied, and they say, for example, that they think that you will get a holiday, or it will be like a holiday on an island, and you spend on that, and it's not really what they told you. When you come there, it is not really as the pictures show it, and so forth. And then the last point, which can be a disadvantage, is that big firms like Namibia breweries, if they spend so much on advertising, it's very difficult for small firms to compete with them and also advertise. They can't do it. They don't have the capital to do it at that same extent. And that means that the small firms will not survive in that market and they will close down. And that's why it is sometimes for a government a problem, because they say every country needs their small firms because the small firms employ the most of the workers. So these are a few advantages and disadvantages of advertising. We have an example for you that you can do homework on for advertising. And we have also exam and test questions which can be used on advertising.